The winning streak is over, guys. It's your boy Hokage Puya. The Bayern winning streak. 16 games to start the season, 16 wins, 0 draws, and 0 losses has came to an end because today in the 17th game away at Union Berlin before international break, we drew the game 2-2 2 and it's a fair result. We'll talk about the game more. We'll get into the squad selection, why we fell flat today, why things didn't go our way. Some of the performances weren't great today from individual players, but this was a deserved draw. I didn't feel like Union deserved to win, and today, given our high standards, given the level we've been playing at, we didn't deserve to win either. So I think a draw, very fair, and honestly, I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it because yes, winning is cool. We gotta come up to some issues. Like today, we ran into some issues. We ended up not losing. We figured it out in the end and to get at least a point. But I like this. The team running into issues, problems, and having to figure them out. Company able to go back to the drawing board and figure out why these deficiencies popped up today. So I'm not mad about it at all. And you can't just keep winning. The pressure would get too big. And I said in my last post match reaction or something, I think I said we need to lose soon. I think a draw is basically that. A draw for us, when you win 16 games in a row, a draw is a loss. So this is technically our first loss of the season. And yeah, I'm not mad about it. And we're gonna talk about the Bundesliga as well. I have to hit on the Bundesliga in this video because how is it that when we finally drop points in the 10th game of the season, we finally drop 2 points, a draw? How come I go and check the other scores in the Bundesliga and I see that some of our title rivals also just happen to drop points on the same day? So we're going to talk about that as well. But let's go to our favorite website in the entire world on this channel, FootMob, best football website in the world. 2-2, Doki getting a goal in the 27th and 83rd minute. Luis Diaz, the goal Luis Diaz scored. We're going to talk about it. That goal in the 30th minute, goal of the season so far for Bayern. A brilliant individual play from Luis Diaz. I mean, I can't believe he scored that. And then in the end, Harry Kane saves us a point and saves us from losing with a 93rd minute header assisted by young, brilliant, my young king, Tom Bischoff. But yeah, 2-2. And honestly, Union Berlin's goals, you have to say it. I see a lot of people, and I went on Twitter and I said it. Goretzka shouldn't have played this long. Goretzka shouldn't have started. He brought the team down. He's so negative. He's so passive in his play. But for all the people saying Goretzka, the fact of the matter is Union Berlin only scored 2 goals today because one, Manuel Neuer made a mistake. Horrible error on that first goal. You could argue, oh, there was bodies in his way, but I'm sorry, for Neuer's quality, for Neuer, the GOAT keeper, that's an awful error. So a Neuer mistake, and that second Union goal, it's a Kane mistake. Kane's clearance on that set piece was awful. And they get the goal. Doke is there to finish it 2-1 at that point. Luckily for Kane, he's able to redeem himself a little and get that goal in the 93rd minute. But, Union Berlin had 3 chances today, and 2 of them came from mistakes, and one of them was an offsides goal that they scored. And the offsides, man, go and look up how tight that offsides was. It was one of those 1 centimeter offsides goals. And to be honest, I made my argument previously in another video. I'm not mad about it. The offsides rule needs to stay objective. It's rightfully offsides. We move on, and the game ends 2-2. So, yeah, maybe you could say we deserved it because Union Berlin's goals came off mistakes, but even then, the performance just was flat overall for Bayern. It's just flat overall. You expect much more expected goals from us in an away game against Union Berlin. You really do. We only created 3 big chances today. 3 big chances. So, yeah, fair result. And that Luis Diaz goal, man, assisted by Josip Stanisic, but Luis Diaz did all the work there. He gets the ball, saves it from going out of play, baits the defender, and takes it down the line, and he just rifles it full power. Adriano Pez 99 shot power goal into the top right-hand corner from an impossible angle. Goal of the season for Bayern so far. Goal of the freaking season. But let's go down to the starting 11. Let's talk about it because I think this is where I'm a little disappointed. After such a physically tough game against PSG during the week, I really, really did expect Kompany to rotate. I really expected it and I really wanted it. Bringing in just Goretzka is not rotation for me. That's just bringing in Goretzka for Pavlovic. Cool. I guess you're managing Pavlovic's minutes because of his injury history and because he's still really young, right? I don't mind. But overall, you could have started Carl. You could have started Guerrero. You could have started Bischoff. You could have started Kim and Jae. You could have started all these players. You could have started Jackson over Kane, to be honest. Really. Because what you saw in that first 30 minutes of this game, in honestly just the first half, and most of the game in general, but really that first half, because the second half, we were a lot better in much more control of the game. But in that first half, the team is tired. The team is flat. They just came off beating PSG away from home in Paris 2-1 after a hard fought victory. These players were never going to be 100% switched on and ready to play at their absolute best from minute one. It took this team 50 minutes to get into the game. It took them until the second half to really get flowing and slowly get to their real strength. But even today, even by the end of 90 minutes, this Bayern team never really got to even 50% strength. It was just too slow at times. It was just too flat. The little details of the game were just off. And so, hindsight, there's two philosophies with this. When you have a winning team, don't change it around too much. And before an international break, the team isn't going to play for a week and a half, 2 weeks together. Don't change it. But there's the other philosophy of you're on a winning streak. Does this game really matter when you're going to win the Bundesliga? Rotate, rest, give people, other players chances. We obviously have the B team to go out there and win games of the Bundesliga. We took half a B team and destroyed Leverkusen 3-0 last game. So there's two different philosophies for it. I understand Kompany. I keep wanting to try and play my strongest 11 every time. So they just keep building more and more chemistry. But today I feel like that's just kind of backfired because the overall performance was flat. The football wasn't, you could say, oh, the football was bad. This was bad. The pass was bad. The first touches were bad. But that all stems from just the team feeling a little deflated and flat after such a high they had earlier in the week on Tuesday. So there should have been more rotation. So I'm really disappointed with Kompany today. And what really even disappointed me more was the subs. Things aren't working, and then you make your first sub in the 59th minute, not at halftime. You see Goretzka. Goretzka's having such a passive, ineffectual game on the field. You wait until the 80th minute to bring Pavlovic on. Bischoff probably should have started, but he brought off Leimer. Leimer didn't have his best of games, but Leimer is just, you need to manage his minutes. He can't just play 90 minutes every single game. But you wait until the 80th minute to take Leon Goretzka off. That I don't know, that's disappointing for me. That's disappointing for me from Kompany. But again, I can't knock him on going with the philosophy of I'm gonna play my best team, or I'm gonna try to play my strongest team every single game so they can continue to get minutes on the field together, build more chemistry, build more strength, build more awareness and comfortability with each other. So I don't mind it, but in a game like this where you obviously see the players are struggling and you can obviously make changes and bring players off the bench to change the game, you wait until the 80th minute to bring guys like Bischoff and Alexander Pavlovich on. And funny enough, Bischoff goes on, like I said, and assisted that Harry Kane goal. He came on to substitute and actually put in a serious cross. Because let's go back down to the starting 11. Obviously, Neuer has a lower lab. When we look at these 11s, don't look at the ratings FootMob gives. We're just looking at the 11s. Neuer, he made the critical error, but whatever. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Stanisic, I thought was good. Ta and Upa were good, but they did have moments. And honestly, Upamecano had more suspect moments today. Some of his passes were a little reckless out of the back, but he's still overall on the defensive side of the game. Upamecano was just excellent today as well. Just in my opinion, really, really good. And Leimer today didn't have his best game. He wasn't awful. He was just kind of mid. Kimmich, again, the whole thing. Kimmich could have had a better game today with a better midfield partner because he's carrying the entire attacking and progressive load of the midfield today because Leon Goretzka doesn't want to make a forward pass for 90 minutes, 80 minutes. So Kimmich did his best with Goretzka next to him, and Goretzka was worst player on the pitch in terms of you're the freshest player on the pitch. I just don't get it. You're able to physically cope with this Union team who are they try to physically dominate, especially in games against Bayern. They try to make it untechnical. They try to make it physical. They try to make it a little dirty. Goretzka, you have the profile for that. You weren't even able to cope with that. Horrible player today. Horrible performance. And then yeah, Luis Diaz gets the goal. But to be honest, guys, what did Luis Diaz do in that second half? He did not do anything, and that was the confusing thing for me in the second half as well. Everything was just on the right side. I didn't get that. I feel like 80%, 85% of what we were trying to do, what we were trying to create, was all coming from Olise, 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 Olise. Now, credit to Olise, he wants to carry the boats. He wants the ball and create something. But the issue with Olise today was the deliveries were awful. The deliveries were awful, and in the 6th, 70th, 80th minutes, the crosses were bad. He's still able to brilliantly beat his man, drop his shoulder, cut in on his left foot, and have all the space in the world to shoot or cross. But today, the deliveries from Olise were piss poor. Piss poor deliveries from Michael Olise today. So disappointing. And, a guy like Bischoff comes off and plays on the other side of the field. And guess what? Bischoff puts in a serious cross, the first probably serious cross or one of the only serious crosses, dangerous crosses of the game for Bayern. And what happens? Harry Kane puts it away. And so, this is a game where you could rotate, bring players that are rested, who are more switched on, and who don't squander so many opportunities, so many crossing opportunities. It is what it is. Gnabry, I honestly don't remember much from Gnabry today. Is what it is. And Harry Kane, mistake for the second goal, and then gets the equalizer in the 93rd minute. He himself, Harry Kane, today wasn't that great. In the second half, he was more improved, but overall, just for his expectations and what we want from him, not a good game. Not a good game. And I want to hit on this point because it was actually a topic of conversation this week because of a quote Philip Lahm made. He basically went out and said, I'm interested to see how Kompany integrates Musiala back. I want to see how can Musiala affect this team and improve this team basically when he's back because they're playing so well. Gnabry's doing so well in number 10. But it's so funny that on this win streak, and then Philip Lahm comes out saying out during the week, especially after beating PSG, people on Twitter are talking about, hold on now. Can Musiala get him back? Is Musiala, does he provide anything extra to this team? Blah, 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 a bunch of bullshit. And then it's so funny that after these conversations spark up this week, this game against Union today, we absolutely 1,000,000% missed Jamal Musiala today. We absolutely missed Jamal Musiala today because what you saw was this Union team, very physical. They were kind of shutting down the middle of the field, and we had to keep going wide, 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 wide. We couldn't really do anything to the middle of the field, right? Musiala would have ate today against these big, Union Berlin players. Imagine Musiala receiving the ball in between lines, in the pockets, and able to just maneuver and turn, drop his shoulder around these big Union Berlin players. Musiala would have. This was a game. It's just so ironic. After the conversations I saw people having about Musiala and his return to the team this week, it's so funny that in this weekend's game, we drop a performance like this. And it's the game where you look at it and think, oh yeah, Musiala would have 1,000,000% been an X factor for us in a game like this against Union. 1,000,000%. So again, you're seeing that this team is not 100% strength. I keep telling you, without Musiala and Davies, Bayern's maximum strength they could get to is 70%. You won't see 100% strength Bayern until Musiala and Alphonso Davies are back into the starting 11. And you saw that today. Musiala would have been an X factor for us. He would have been able to create spaces for us. He would have been able to divert the attention of the Union team to the middle of the park every time he received the ball, which then would have given some liberation, given some space to Diaz and Olise on the wings. So Yeah, definitely a game where we missed Musiala. And then to end the video, let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about this. Let's look at let's look at this. Where are the matches? Do you see the issue with this screen? Like, when I show you this, do you see the issue? So, Bayern, 16 games, 16 wins. Oh no, they finally dropped points for the first time this season, and it came in the Bundesliga. They draw 2-2 away from Union. Do you see the two results above FC Bayern München versus Union Berlin? Do you see those two results? Hoffenheim 3, Leipzig 1, Dortmund 1, Hamburg 1. So in the weekend, the first match in November, after 16 games, Bayern finally dropped points, and two teams who are supposed to be our closest title rivals this year, and they're supposed to push us in the Bundesliga and keep us on our toes, these fucking idiots both drop points. Leipzig lose and Dortmund draw. I told you guys 2.5 months ago. I told you guys, look at this. Second and third place, they're supposed to push us. Leipzig, if you win today, you go to 25 points, only 3 points behind Bayern. Right? Only 3 points behind Bayern. But you lose. Dortmund, if you win today, you go to 23 points, only 5 points against Bayern, but you draw. You guys, I told you in the first post-match reaction of the season against Leipzig, opening day, 6-0. I told you guys in the first 3 minutes of that reaction, we won the Bundesliga at halftime of match day 1 against our title rivals this season, RB Leipzig. On match day 1, after 45 minutes against one of our title rivals, we already had won the Bundesliga. The league could already be wrapped up and finished. So extremely disappointed in Leipzig and Dortmund. And it's not like I'm supporting them. I want them to beat us, but I want them to push us. I want them to keep us on our toes. And they did it. Huge, massive opportunity missed for Leipzig and Dortmund today. And that's just really frustrating, especially as a guy who wants to prop up the Bundesliga. When other European fans see this and they see these results, how can they take it serious? How can they take it serious? You can't. You can't. That's egregious right there. That's egregious. Anyway, it's a draw today for Bayern. It's deserved. The result was deserved. Great goal from Luis Diaz. Kompany should have rotated more. But, the good thing is, after this draw, international break, Kompany has the opportunity to now really think about this game, look at himself in the mirror, and yeah, hopefully the players go, no one gets injured on international break, because some of these players are looking tired. I have to mention that. Some of these players are looking tired. But we'll see after the international break if anyone gets injured. I have a sick feeling in my stomach someone's getting an injury. And actually, one more thing I want to hit on before I end this video. So today, the 3 chances from Union Berlin, all 3 chances, the offsides goal and the 2 goals that came off mistakes, all 3 of those chances came from set pieces. All 3 of those chances came from set pieces. We play Arsenal in 2.5 weeks. Set piece FC. I'm scared. I'm scared. That's all I'm going to say. But I'm scared of set piece FC. If that's how we're defending set pieces these days. It's been your boy Hokage. I'll see you guys for the next Bayern videos after international break. I'll probably post some during international break. FC Hollywood's back. I'm Yes on Mia. Twitter is back. So we're gonna have news to react to in the next week or two. So tune in for those videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. 2-2, Svai Mia San Mia. We're still unbeaten. We're technically still unbeaten. Invincible season is still alive. See you guys in the next one. Peace.